Humans have been seeking happiness ever since birth. From the very first days, when we cry out to the world, simple happiness is just an embrace, a drop of sweet milk, or the affectionate gaze of our parents. As we grow, the world expands, and happiness takes on many different forms. It could be a toy we've been longing for all year, a perfect score in school, or simply the joy of running carefree in the rain with friends. Yet, as we step into adulthood, happiness dons more complex garments. People start associating happiness with success, status, wealth, love, and social recognition. We believe that if we attain these things, happiness will naturally follow. A promotion, a new house, a perfect love, and happiness will appear. However, the further we travel on this path, the more we realize a subtle truth. Happiness often eludes us. Sometimes we think we've grasped it, but in an instant, it slips away like a fleeting shadow at the end of the road. We can achieve goals and possess many things, yet joy passes quickly, making way for worry, comparison, and new desires. Happiness, it turns out, is not a final destination to reach. It is like a flowing river, present at times, absent at others, sometimes right in the very moment we are living. And so, the age-old question echoes through generations, from ancient philosophers to modern humans. Where does happiness come from? Is it found in what we possess, or in how we perceive the world? Is it determined by external circumstances, or by our inner state of mind? This is an eternal question, not only for philosophy but for every human being throughout life's journey. A journey in which, the further we walk, the more we yearn to find a personal definition of happiness, simple yet sufficient for living fully and peacefully. When humans seek the answer to happiness, philosophy, both Eastern and Western, has for thousands of years offered different perspectives. In the East, Confucius said, "Contentment brings happiness." This seemingly simple statement opens a profound view of happiness. In Confucian thought, happiness does not come from boundless possession but from harmony. Harmony in the family, in society, and within one's own heart. A person who knows enough, who stops at the right time, maintains enduring joy, unlike one who constantly chases desire. Buddhism offers another path. Happiness is not the result of acquiring more, but of letting go. The Buddha taught that suffering arises from greed, anger, and ignorance. When the mind is bound by desire, anger, or delusion, there is no room for happiness. Only by letting go can the soul feel light, allowing us to reach serenity, a form of happiness not conditioned by external circumstances. In other words, in Buddhist thought, happiness is not elsewhere. It sprouts from the stillness within us. In contrast, in the West, Aristotle, the ancient Greek philosopher, introduced the concept of eudaimonia. For him, happiness is not synonymous with fleeting pleasure. It is not a momentary enjoyment, but a lifelong state where one lives in accordance with virtue, fully developing the potential within oneself. This is a happiness tied to the growth of the soul, a lasting state rather than a passing one. Existentialist philosophy presents a different perspective. Kierkegaard, Camus, and other thinkers emphasize that life is inherently absurd. Humans are born without preordained meaning. Happiness, then, is the courage to confront this absurdity and create one's own purpose. It is no longer a gift but the outcome of freedom, of an active choice and committed action. Thus, whether East or West, great philosophies converge on one point. Happiness does not come from accumulating wealth, fame, or power. It is not about having more but about living rightly. Rightly with oneself, rightly with society, or rightly with the meaning one chooses to pursue. Ultimately, happiness is a state of harmony. Harmony with oneself, with those around us, and with the vast world of which we are a part. For a long time, happiness has been mistaken for pleasure. We often think that adding more joy or satisfaction automatically brings happiness. But pleasure is only a fleeting flash, whereas happiness is a STE. Another common mistake is to treat happiness as a destination. People say, "Once I buy that house, I'll be happy. Once I get that job, I'll be happy. Once I meet that person, I'll be happy." And then, upon achieving these things, happiness visits only briefly before giving way to new desires. Chasing happiness is like chasing a shadow. The further we run, the farther it seems. Happiness does not reside at a point. It is on the path itself, in how we live and feel each moment. Looking deeper, happiness arises from three essential layers. First, the physical layer. A healthy body, restful sleep, a nourishing meal. seemingly small, yet indispensable. When the body is unwell, all other joys become fragile. Happiness may simply be walking under the morning sun, breathing fresh air fully, or not struggling with pain. Second, the emotional layer. Humans are creatures of connection. Great happiness often comes from love, friendship, feeling heard and understood, and the ability to give care in. Finally, the intellectual layer. This is perhaps the deepest and most enduring. When a person finds meaning in life, when they live according to values and potential, happiness flows continuously. Not because of wealth, but because they understand why they live and for what purpose. A person may be rich yet empty, or simple yet find their life full of meaning. These three layers intertwine, complementing each other, forming complete happiness. A healthy body, nurtured emotions, and a guided intellect. This is the foundation on which happiness blooms. Thus, true happiness lies not in what we possess, but in who we are and how we live. It is not the accumulation of material things, but the harmony of body, mind, and intellect, so that each day we can say, I have lived true to myself. Happiness is an abstract concept, yet it is not confined to books or lofty philosophies. It exists in daily life, in the roles we live. At work, many think happiness comes from high salaries, bonuses, or social status. Yet some earn little but feel satisfied because their work brings meaning. A teacher witnessing a student's growth, a doctor saving a life, or an artist bringing joy to others, that is happiness. When we see our actions create value, going to work ceases to feel burdensome and becomes a meaningful journey. In family and love, happiness does not mean perfection. No family is without conflict, no love forever sweet as in the beginning. Happiness lies in navigating imperfections together, knowing forgiveness, listening, and holding hands after storms. A hug after a tiring day, a warm meal, or simply the presence of loved ones in hard times. These are the simple yet profound forms of happiness. Within ourselves, happiness comes from the ability to appreciate the present. We often postpone it. When I reach that goal, when I acquire that, I will be happy. Yet happiness never resides in the future. It can only be experienced in the now. Happiness is pausing to enjoy a peaceful morning, a hot cup of tea, or a moment of authenticity. Consider this example. A person with little wealth lives in a small home without luxury. Yet each morning they wake up healthy, have a warm meal, and a friend to share joys and sorrows. Are they happy? Yes, because happiness is measured not by what we have, but by the quality of the moments we live. In modern life, where humans are swept into work, pressures, and expectations, happiness is not a luxury. It only requires a shift in perspective, from chasing to appreciating, from yearning to being present. Then we realize happiness has never left. It is simply waiting for us to turn around and smile back. Happiness is not a reward at the end of the road, nor something distant to chase. It exists in every breath, every gaze, every small moment often overlooked. Happiness comes not from how much we have, but from how we perceive and live with what we have. Perhaps true happiness is the ability to smile at life, even when it is imperfect. And you? Where does happiness come from for you? From work, from love, or from a small, simple moment only you can feel? Share in the comments. Your story might inspire someone searching for their own happiness.